For those people who are unfamiliar with Borth and Ynyslas, it's not very far. There is an estuary which has Aberdovey on the north and Borth and Ynyslas on the south. There's about 500 metres between them.
Not much, is it?
But about a 40-minute drive if you want to drive from one to the other. We drove about an hour and a quarter from Harlock to Borth, and few things about Borth and Ynyslas. It is a gorgeous little Welsh coastal town that has got these multicoloured houses and a wonderfully long coastline that runs for miles as far as you can see. And as you drive in, I think first impressions is the road bisects the golf course. So the first hole is on the inland side of the road, as is the 16th, 17th and 18th.
Oh, sure.
And the road runs parallel to the coastline. So you've got this road that runs all the way along the coastline, and then suddenly you're driving through a golf course. There's golf holes on your right for a while, and then some golf holes on your left a little bit, and then you see the clubhouse on your left. Now, first impressions of Borth and Ynyslas.
Rustic.
Rustic.
There's like a modern starter's hut, which looks like kind of like right by the first tee, but the clubhouse is set back. Looks like a sort of fairly modest 1970s clubhouse. Nice. Went in there, very friendly, then popped into the pro shop. Did not expect what I opened. It was like Aladdin's cave.
The pro shop. For any of you that are into retro gear,
It's iconic.
the pro shop is mecca.
It is absolutely iconic.
Like, everything about it is retro. Everything. You walk through, it's got a musty smell. It's got an old carpet. There's like Sounder irons. There's like McGregor irons.
You can't pay
There's
by cash
Paci-
or by card.
I think you could pay cash, but you definitely couldn't pay card. You had to wire them money.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, can you bank transfer me this money? I was like, have you received it? She's like, I won't know for a few days. It's like, okay. And there's, persimmons. You bought a Joe Powell persimmon.
Yeah. When you go and see something like that, it just makes an experience there so much more magical. I love the fact that it's so authentic and it's so them that's the way they're running it. You can buy new balls and stuff there, but it's really part of the experience of going there. But my first impressions of the course when you get there is because you drive through the first 5 or so holes, you tend to see the stuff that's quite low profile. It's very flat. It's very basic up and down golf. So you head out, and you're just enjoying it with the sun on your back. But you then play a par 5 where you have to get past this house, and you're like, oh wow. It was actually a very magical afternoon, that, because it was quite nice weather. It was sunny in parts, but it wasn't until we got to the 18th tee box, and then we'd been watching the sun, and for a very brief, you looked across up the bay, and you could see Aberdovey with all the haze and everything where the sun had dipped. And it was just glorious walking off that 18th tee and sitting there. There was minutes of sunlight remaining and having a beer, and they were just so nice. Now, Colt was involved.
Is that true?
However, not until about 1947. So it was Colt's company, but I'm guessing this is a bit more sort of Allison and Morrison really by then.
Let's delve into the course a smidge.
Well, I think the meat of the discussion needs to sit on the holes when you get past that par 5, which I think is the 4th.
We can
and
get
into
there.
that. But before we do get there, if you like boundary golf, you're going to love Borth, because the first 4 holes and the last 6 holes are played with seriously penal boundaries. None is more emphasised than the second tee shot, where the road runs to the right of the hole and the fence out of bounds left to the beach. And you're standing there and it is a no-miss tee shot. Like Jim, who was holding a couple of point lead on you to avoid the shoe cleaning, and then he's hit this just huge cut block out of bounds off the second tee.
Some would say mega slice.
Head's gone here, boys. It's a double OV.
Pulls the
You got a
provision.
shot here, so
Hits a duck hook left. I mean, this thing's still going up over the beach. And, it's funny, you look at the messages when you post something at Borth and Ynyslas. Friend of the pod, Charlie, message says, second hole at Borth, toughest in Wales.
I think it's the hardest in the world.
I think that run when you get past that par 5, where the sign on the tee says to you, do not play over the house. Because everything is short grass at Borth. Everything is short grass. And you basically have to get from tee to green on this par 5, and there's a house coming in from the road with
Slap
netting
bang in the
around
way.
it, and you've got to get around this thing. So, they cut it off at the pass on tee and say you can't play over it. And after that, it all opens up because you walk around that corner and then you just see loads of dunes and you're like, oh, now I get it. Now I know why people have said come and play golf here. Because you then start to play 5, that little short 4 with the green benched into a massive dune, massive descending par 3 to follow. You play a whole run of holes out to the turn, and then you play back along this sort of huge linksland. You've got a few blind drives with marker posts, and it was just a delight. I absolutely loved it.
And that stretch around the turn is so quirky and so blind.
It's cool.
There's a hole around about 12, I would have thought, that's a complete blind drive, and you're just given, it's dunes everywhere, and you see this marker post, and it's just saying, hit me. The hole's 300 yards. You don't know where it's going off this marker post. If there's room left, if there's room right, and it's majestic. And as this was going on, it was overcast all day with this break of about, as you look at it, like 1.5 inches between the cloud and the horizon in the distance in the west. And you're thinking any moment that sun is going to pop its little head out underneath that cloud and before the horizon. And it just started to come around 13, 14, and it was just such a magical finish to that round.